Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triforce podcast with me, Lewis. Basically, like one of those delicious, healthy breakfast bars. Also, sips.
Yeah.
Probably like a deep-fried chocolate milkshake.
Right.
With chips blended in.
Okay.
Also, Pyrean flax, an egg. Welcome back.
Hard boiled.
Wow.
To the Triforce podcast.
What an intro.
Episode 99.3 on your dial. Dial.
Sound effects. We're doing it. Welcome back, everyone. How's it been? How's your week been? Are you all right? Is everyone okay?
Just about, yeah. Just getting there, getting through the week.
So Sips said you was just getting a bit of a cold because
it's just developing. Yeah, my daughter had her open day at nursery. Well, she had two. They do like 2 open days just to sort of like give them some exposure to where they're going to be spending a large portion of a year of their life, sort of thing, right?
So what? There's like a 3-year-old is now toured around the nursery.
Yeah, the nursery.
You pick which one
she
you
gets
want, right?
No, you don't. No, you go
It's like
there. Just
applied to university.
No, it's not like we didn't go to multiple nurseries. We went to the one that she's going to.
Do they like show you a good time there and stuff, and like give you all the finger paints and say, "Oh, these are the crayons you'll be using"?
It's all there.
You can like assess them.
Kids at that age are so reluctant to do anything when they're out of their comfort zone. So you sort of go and look at cool stuff and try to convince them to do the cool stuff, and they're like, no. Wow, look at these finger paints. You want to try this? This looks awesome. Like, we can have a lot of fun here. No. All right.
Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah, they don't really want to do anything. But the idea is they get exposed to it and then they get more used to it. So it doesn't come as such a shock when they're left there for the whole day come September. You know what I mean? I don't know if it actually works. That's the idea, but kids' minds are so beautiful and odd and strange, and they work differently to the mind of an adult. So, I don't know if it really applies, but it's a nice thought anyway. And
I'm sure we talked
anyway,
about this before.
we took her there, and it's like a fucking germ colony, a nursery, so we're all sick.
Yeah, it's like a breeding ground for every possible.
Yeah,
like
You have to pay to put your children in a petri dish
pretty
alongside
much.
a terrible germ culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a story related to my kids from the last week. I don't know if you saw, I tweeted that my eldest. Now, if there are any younger viewers listening, first of all, you shouldn't be listening. This is a mature podcast. And second of all, spoiler alert, the tooth fairy isn't real, okay?
Uh-oh.
So
shit.
my eldest broke this news to my youngest. So my eldest is 10, my youngest is 7, and she's a real innocent, right? She's very sweet, the younger girl. She believes in pretty much anything. Convinced that fairies are real. And my eldest is just a bit of a cow sometimes, gets bored, and just thinks, I'm just going to fucking screw with my little sister. So, hey, tooth fairy's not real. It's mummy and daddy. And she'd figured this out because she lost a tooth, and because she's an insane genius, she thought, I know what I'll do. I'll hide the tooth under my pillow for the tooth fairy, but I won't tell mum and dad because that way I'll know.
That is clever, yeah.
Yeah, so a week goes past, no money. This was about 2 years ago, I think. And she comes to me and she says, I didn't get any money from the tooth fairy. I said, oh, well, I didn't know you'd lost a tooth. Maybe she didn't know. And she said, well, put it under my pillow with a note, waited a week, nothing. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. And then money turned up that night, of course. And also, dead giveaway.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times when she told me and I just plumb forgot to put any money under a pillow. Because after they've lost like 20 teeth or whatever, you kind of...
Yeah, the first one is a big deal, and everyone after that is kind of,
Yeah, it's like diminishing returns as a parent. You're like, this is just costing me money. But
first of all, I like how you thought you could still make up for it. I like how you're holding on to this. I think you're quite, in a sense, believing in these little charming. You want them to believe in the tooth fairy for as long as possible. And in a way, you're doing your best. You're like, well, what can we do? We can say like, oh, tooth fairy's real busy, or like, I'm gonna have to be in contact with her myself. She's got a real backlog of teeth. Just happens around this time of the year. Kids knocking themselves out left, right, and centre. All the teeth are falling out. It's a real busy time. So I'm sure she'll be around to you tonight.
So the story gets more complicated.
Yeah,
it gets more complicated.
I'll give her a ring on the old tooth phone. and on the tooth line, and she'll be right round. We'll prioritize.
I'll email the Tooth Fairy right now.
We'll prime it. We'll prime it over.
That's the fake phone call to the Tooth Fairy is a good one too, or to anyone for that matter.
That's true.
You do the fake phone call to threaten them or to like get them excited about something or whatever.
I could call someone, get them to pretend Tooth Fairy here. Now your mum and dad have told me you've been mugging them off with all this tooth business. You listen to me, you little shit. You want any money under that fucking pillow? You better stop flying right. Hangs up the phone. So she was in big trouble. We took away her laptop access for like a week.
Whoa.
No screen time, all the rest of it. She was very, very upset. But she took a punishment.
Oh, well, this is after she told her little sister about it.
This is after that she told him, So she told her little sister about it, big trouble. And you could tell she didn't moan when she got her punishment. She realized, like, I fucked up. Like, that was a fuck up. Yeah. She saw how much it upset her little sister. So my wife and the kids go out at the weekend and they buy a new fairy door. A fairy door, for anyone who doesn't know, there's no reason you would.
I've got
is
one.
a little door.
Yeah,
right. A little door. You affix it to a low down point skirting board or the bottom of your bed or something.
Yeah.
For the fairies to live in.
It's like a little. Imagine gluing a mouse hole onto.
Yeah,
this,
man,
onto
we've got
the floor.
furniture and everything outside of ours. It's crazy. Like,
right.
You got a little. They got more than a fairy door. There's a little fairy fucking chateau.
Yeah, they got like a fucking fairy
right?
patio out there and a fairy picnic bench and you name it. It's all
It's
there.
kind of like the equivalent of putting a mouse trap outside a mouse hole. The idea is that you'll catch the fairies lounging on the fucking
lure
sun
out with
lounger.
leisurely activities.
Homeless fairies. You'll lure in homeless fairies. So this fairy door was downstairs in the kitchen, and my youngest was like, there's no visitors to this fairy door. I think we need a new one and we need to reposition it. Like, she's still clinging to the idea, but you can see her faith in fairies is waning. So she comes to me one day, like earlier this week, I think it was Monday, she comes to me with a little note and it says, I would like to buy this house. Could you let me know how much you want for it? And my name is Lily and I'm 11 years old and I'm a fairy in this area. And my youngest replied, like wrote her a little note, left it out for her. They exchanged letters for a few days and then she left a little jelly bean out for her as a sort of thank you and a welcoming gift.
Okay, well, first
she received
one jelly bean.
One jelly bean.
Right.
It's big for a fairy. They're little.
Did they go through the conveyancer, get a survey done? Like they've got.
I assume so.
Yeah.
I assume so.
Okay, they went through the full fairy legal system.
Is there any chain on the selling and acquisition of the new house?
I hope not.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's gone through because she's moved in. Because we got this note yesterday.
Yeah.
I would very much like a shelf.
That's the note. That's the entirety of the note.
That's the whole note.
The big candy was delicious.
Oh.
I shared it with my friends.
You're like some sort of weird landlord for fairies now.
Right.
Dear Mr. Landlord.
But get this.
Can I please have a shelf? How much? That's gonna cost me, fairy. Jeez.
Fairy shelves don't come cheap. So get this. I said to my wife about these fairy notes, and she sort of went, yeah, and laughed. And I was like, oh, it must be her doing it. But then one appeared in the middle of the day, and I thought, it must be my youngest writing these notes to herself and stringing it along. So I asked my eldest, I said, are you writing these fairy notes? She goes, yeah. So she's been writing these notes to make up for the guilt that she felt.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
I cried my eyes out when she told me.
What if it takes like a sinister turn or something though? Like what if she starts writing the
I'll
notes
be upset if it
oh,
does.
Thanks for the shelf. By the way, I wasn't too pleased with the dress that you were wearing yesterday. And then the next note is just like, never wear that dress again. And it just like gets more sinister in tone.
I saw you in that dress again. Punishment forthcoming. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's really, really sweet of my eldest to do that. She didn't have to. We didn't make her. She came up with the idea herself. She's the fairy. And she's very clever because she doesn't write in her handwriting. And she misspells things like words that my eldest knows how to spell, and she misspells her own name. When the fairy is talking about her, she misspells her name deliberately. She's like, oh, look, she spelt my name wrong. So my youngest is completely believes that this is 100% real.
Okay.
It's very sweet.
That is sweet.
She is an evil genius, or An evil genius. What's a good one? A good evil good
They're
genius.
good, yeah. A positive evil genius.
Oh, that's some high level stuff.
Yeah.
P-Flex.
Man, the fake phone call is both a curse and a blessing though, because we use it quite often. Like we've used it in terms of the Tooth Fairy
Thing is,
before
like,
as well.
Is it a little bit like it worked once and then really
well,
well?
it works all the time, but it has side effects that sometimes you can't foresee, and that's the problem. So like one that we use, the fake phone call. Fake phone call is usually like is usually part of the arsenal of trying to convince a child to do something that they don't want to do, right? You're just like, you're fed up. You're trying to get them to do something simple and they're not doing it. So you just bust out oh, well, I'm going to have to phone Grandpa and we'll see what he has to say about this. And then they're like, no. Like, they really don't want you to phone Grandpa for whatever reason. Like, I don't know why we even started using Grandpa, but we just did, okay? So not every time, but like a lot of the time, it's like, if something's starting to like go a bit sour, the mood is starting to change, or there's like some sort of like reluctance to do something that we're trying to get them to do or whatever, we'll occasionally bust out I'll phone Grandpa then. We'll just phone Grandpa and we'll get him to fly all the way over here, and then he'll have to do it and he will not be happy. And then the kids are like, oh, okay. Oh, I'll do it. Don't phone Grandpa. I'll do it. But now the problem is that sometimes when we FaceTime my parents and Grandpa comes on, they're like shitting themselves. They're like really fucking worried. And they're like, no, like Grandpa just wants to say hi to you. And then when they visited, like they see my mom and they're like, hey, Grandma, like, and then they sort of like all the music and all the festivities stop and they just both turn around and like look at my dad and he's like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do?
What have you been doing, kids? Why haven't you got your shoes on?
We can't tell him that we use him as like a control tool for the kids because, it's kind of mean. So he's just left in the dark. He just doesn't understand why like our kids are just very slightly afraid of him. And it's because of that. Yeah, it's really... So my advice is to you as a lawyer, one of the only ones on Jersey, is be careful what tools you employ to gain some sort of control over your children, because sometimes they can backfire in ways that you never thought were possible.
I've developed two things that I do. If I need them to come downstairs or I need their attention, if I call their names, they just don't listen. They just zone it out.
Yeah.
But through years of Pavlovian response technique, every time dinner is ready, I do this. Which is like the sound they make when someone boards a ship. A friend of mine's dad used to do it when he came home. Now, it's just a naval thing. But my friend's dad, whenever he came home from work, we'd be upstairs playing and we'd hear his whistle and we'd know he was home. We'd go and say hello. So I do that every time their dinner is ready. But I also do it every time that I need their attention. And if I make that sound and they're anywhere in the house, they're like, and they come charging up, saying, what is it? Like, it's amazing. This is literally 8 years of hard work.
That's nice.
It actually works.
You know what we do? We just start eating. Like, we just say dinner, and then we just fucking start straight away. Because it's like, oh, okay, great. Maybe we'll get like 5 minutes of not like the comedy hour that is dinner. We can avoid some of it. So then we just start eating, and that's usually enough to just spur them on. They're like, oh shit, I'm missing out on something. I better go down and eat.
Right. That's pretty good.
It's fairly effective. But then sometimes it's like, oh, you better get down here. I'm going to phone Grandpa, and he's going to come and hand feed you.
Oh, man.
He's going to come and eat all of the chips.
Yeah.
He hates chips, so he's going to be really mad. Well, he's going to have to come all the way. He's going to be all tired and sweaty.
Yeah.
He's going to have to portage halfway across Canada.
Man.
And then he's going to get here. He's going to be real angry because you've not got your shoes on either, like you said you were going to do. And then he's going to eat all of your chips. There's going to be none left for you. Oh.
And my cousins, who I didn't really know super well growing up, but it was similar to like the threats that we used to phone Grandpa. We used to get threatened with what used to happen to my cousins, which was kind of weird. Okay, like, so if they didn't eat their dinner, right? My aunt would put whatever they left on their plate into the fridge, and they would have to finish it for breakfast.
I've heard of that.
It didn't matter what it was, okay? And And me and my brother just thought that, holy fuck, that is just the weirdest fucking thing. So like every once in a while we get threatened with like, because you know what kids are like, you put a whole plate of food in front of them and they're like, there you go. And they like, you know, look at a piece of food and they're like, no, I'm full.
Yeah.
Like, what? You haven't eaten anything. So my parents were like, used to say, well, you're just going to have that for breakfast tomorrow if you don't eat it now. And we were like, oh, fuck, that is awful. Okay, I'll eat. You just like start eating this mountain of food just so you don't have to have it for breakfast. What a weird thing, though. Like, I would never dream
like
of
that.
doing that to anybody, let alone my own child. Like, that is just such a weird fucking thing to do, in my opinion.
I mean, I also think, like, you know when people say eat your crusts, that used to be a big thing. When I was at primary school and we'd have our little packed lunches, we had to eat all our lunch. We had to eat it. And I'm not sure why they were obsessed with us eating the crusts of our sandwich, because it's just the burnt outer shell of the bread. Like, that's basically what it is. It's not as tasty. It's there's no moisture to it. It's just dried out, hard-baked, cooked crust.
Yeah.
Like some crust, don't get me wrong, there's some bread crust is delicious. Sourdough, I love the crust of the sourdough. But just a basic fucking Hovis brown loaf of bread tastes like shit. But the dinner ladies would not let us leave the dinner room until we'd eaten our crust. So what we used to do was stuff them inside our thermos flasks. Like I'd drink all my squash and then hide them like prison. And all the other bits and bobs I wouldn't eat, I'd conceal them because they inspected your lunchbox on the way out.
To make sure that you'd eaten all your crusts.
What the fuck is this obsession with crusts?
Yeah,
and we had
that's
to
weird.
pray. Every single lunchtime we had to pray. And one kid, one time, instead of saying amen, he said attack because he was hungry and he was going to attack his lunch. Massive. Like, you wouldn't believe how much trouble that kid was in. Peter Dunlop.
Oh
Peter
my
Dunlop.
God.
That was his name.
What a legend. He went down in the
Attack,
legend.
yeah, that's like when they used to do homeroom and they'd do attendance and you'd have to say present, and there was always some clown who would say president and everybody would laugh. And I don't know why. It's not even remotely funny, but it was just
terrible.
It was just, I guess, like the context of the
Anything
situation.
to lighten
or
the mood of that
Yeah.
dull
Present,
experience.
Billy, present, Marty, president. Ah! Like, what the fuck? It's like so stupid, but everybody used to always laugh. I don't know why.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, president.
I've started doing, I've been doing this for years. This is counting down towards an unknown fate. So my kids won't go up to bed. I'll just start counting 3, 2, and they're like,
good one, yeah.
like running around in a panic.
That's also
And I'll
a
be
good
like,
one.
1.5, and they're like, like running with, it's like
The other
bedlam.
one I like is you have to be really calm about it and not like get sort of like worked up or show any emotion around it or whatsoever. And oftentimes I'll find I'm doing this like while I'm eating or something like that. Something where it looks like I'm just concentrating on something else, but I'm not really, like I'm kind of eating. So like something will be kicking off or, something will be going wrong or, somebody will be getting told off or whatever. And then it'll always come back to, what do you think about this, Daddy? And I was like, oh, I'll tell you what I think about this. I'll be thinking long and hard about whether or not I want to buy toys next time we're at the toy store, for instance. But like I'll be eating my dinner, so it's kind of like passive as I'm saying it, but like with like like
it's believable
the threat
then.
and the meaning, yeah,
Right.
And usually
Yeah.
that's a pretty good one too. That's like, oh, okay, I better stop doing what I'm doing and play ball here. It's like, well, I'll remember that next time we're looking at fun stuff to buy on Amazon.co.uk. I really have to remember that one.
You know what's tough is when I feel that an unjust punishment has been put on the kids by Mrs. F. And I'm sure she feels the same way. But sometimes she'll punish them for something or she'll be angry with them about something and telling them off and she'll punish them. And I'm thinking, this is unjust. I feel like Daredevil in that moment.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I must speak out. Like, yes, justice, justice is blind, right? Daredevil, justice is blind, which is, I think that's the whole way they came up with that character, thinking about it. But
Yeah.
sometimes she'll do stuff and I'm thinking, I've got to follow through with this because I'm the one looking after him. So with this punishment,
Yeah.
Constantly flip-flopping.
It's tough though
between...
because they can pick up on that. They can divide and conquer.
yeah,
they can pick
but that's
up.
the thing. We've got to maintain a united front. So
You have
sometimes
to,
she
yeah,
punishes for
it's
something.
so
I've got to back
important.
them up.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll say, "I think that's a bit unfair," and she'll be like, "We'll discuss it,
Yeah.
but not in front of them." It's a bit like the police. It's the law, even though it's unjust. You got to uphold the law. I
Yeah.
feel like I hate that idea. Like I never wanted to do anything in the police or the armory or anything, because I hated the idea of having to do something that I didn't agree with because I was ordered to. Like that was, I admire absolutely what those people do, but sometimes there's a law that that they might think this is bullshit, but they've got to do it. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot to like stand up against being told by authority what to do. But honestly, like I guess you're constantly flip flopping between being mad at the kids for being naughty or pushing like, 'cause that's what kids do, right? They just learn the boundaries constantly. They're constantly pushing.
I mean, mine are older. They're pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, no, they are.
Sometimes I guess the punishments that you come up with, it seems to hurt them so much that you're like, oh god, I feel guilty about it, but I'm still angry, and now I feel angry again that they've got, because they're smart enough to like. I'm sure they're smart enough to like fake. Oh, this is so horrible, Daddy. Why are you making me do this? I'm cleaning the floor again. Like, what's
tidying their room? That's the big one.
Oh my god, tidying anything.
Their fucking room.
That's another one where I'm just like, all right, well, you got about 5 minutes to tidy up all this stuff, or else I'm gonna tidy it. And then they're like, oh shit, you see them scrambling around, starting to tidy and stuff, because I just chuck it all in the garbage.
Yeah, what I've done now is like, I'll say to them, you have 20 minutes to tidy your room.
Wow.
You have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if I give them any more, if I just give them an undetermined amount of time, they're just in there for, there was about 2 or 3 months ago, their room was a real mess. They'd been playing like late into the evening. I told them to go to bed. They hadn't gone to bed. They carried on playing. So the room was a state. I said, you're tidying this tomorrow. And they were like, So the next day, I said to them, tidy up. What do you think they do? I go down there half an hour later. They're just playing. I'm like, no, tidy. Put things away. So they'll like move things to the side of the room. So there's like a heap of Lego against a wall, like a landfill site, rather than being put in the Lego box. I was like, you just tidy. So now I get a bin bag, big black bin bag, and I come in there and I'm like,
God.
Cool. And I just start picking up rubbish. I'm like, there's rubbish
It's like
all
a
over the floor.
reverse Santa.
Yeah. I'm just like, look at all this rubbish from my bin bag. And they're like, no. They're like scrambling.
They do that thing as well, and you're like, okay, come on, start tidying up, and they're like, oh. And then they pick up like one little piece of Lego and just sort of like limply throw it across the room, hoping to get in the bin. You're like, all right, I'm going to get the garbage bag. Like, I'm not sitting through this. Yeah.
But the worst thing is one of them will be really trying, and then the other one is just half-arsing it because she's thinking, oh, she's taking care of this. I can just fucking sit here. And then she'll start saying, you're not helping, and I am helping you.
Oh, and then sometimes they start fighting about who's tidying what.
Right.
They're like, okay, I'll start tidying this. No, I'm tidying that. No, I'm not. They're all start screaming at each other.
So I just start rustling the bags. Here we go. Get my bin bags ready. 3. Panic.
2.
Oh my God. It's funny because it works, and it's not like in relation to what's happening, it's not that creepy, but I guess when they make movies about weird like serial killers that like abduct people and hold them hostage and sort of like torment them and torture them, it's a lot of that is stuff that you probably, tactics that you employ while you're parenting as well. But it's a lot more sinister when you're a serial killer and you've abducted.
So you mean like the terror elements, like the slow approach of footsteps, like the slow approach of an angry person.
Because the slow, oh God, if I hear something going on upstairs, I just stomp up the stairs slowly, just so people know that I'm coming and stuff.
Boogeyman.
Yeah.
But like shit like that works, right? But if you're a serial killer and you've abducted 10 people and they're in your dungeon and you do that fucking stomp down the stairs, man, guaranteed they are going to be shitting their pants. They're like, oh my fucking God, this guy's doing the slow stomp down the stairs. I haven't experienced this since I was a little boy.
He's counting down from 3. What's gonna happen?
What happened?
2.
You don't clean up your cells, I'm gonna rustle this bin bag.
If you guys don't keep it down here, I'm gonna have to phone Grandpa. Oh my God! Who the fuck is Grandpa?
Oh man. God, you're right.
It is like
the thing is, I can still feel the shudder of both apprehension and terror and uncontrollable laughter when me and my sister were doing something and like in our room, and my mum would come herring down the hallway in her slippers because they'd be like flap, 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 flap. And I still remember that sound. And me and my sister laugh about it all the time because at the time it was like it was like something's about to explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to see what's going to happen, but at the same time we know we're absolutely fucked. Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if a lot of those movies, it is that terror is based on that deep-rooted childhood fear of your parents.
It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes things that you're scared of as a kid, you grow up and you're like, why the fuck was I scared about that? But then if you just put like a little slant on, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I am still scared about that. You know, like,
Yeah.
I used to imagine like sometimes I'd be walking home at night from like a friend's house or whatever. And, nighttime is fucking really eerie. You can see why they use it so heavily, like, to build mood and stuff like that. Because it's just so fucking odd, isn't it? Like, you go out in the day, there's tons of people out. The whole, the place you live is alive with people going out and about doing stuff. It's
very
bright
hard
and
to
everything.
be scared in the sunshine, when there's people
I don't
driving
know, though,
around and cycling about.
I think you can, though. I think you could be scared. Like, okay,
like
imagine,
conventionally horror movie scared.
It's super sunny, all right, and you're in like a field with tall grass, like tall, sort of grass, and you're surrounded by trees. Okay, so this is like a big clearing in the forest, and it's like tall grass, right? And you can hear like those fucking bugs that do that.
Cicadas?
Yeah, whatever they are, I don't know. And it's really hot, and there's like you can hear like the like hot bugs making their noise and stuff, and you can see, and there's birds and shit like that. It's like fairly quiet around you, but like it's not, it's daytime, so it feels like it's not so spooky or whatever. And then you're sort of looking around, and you look, and then in the middle of the field, just like quite far away, there's just a clown standing there staring at you, like, and grinning.
Okay.
And it's daytime.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Fuck
that would be scary.
I would absolutely shit my pants.
But imagine now if it was nighttime,
right? And
you're passing a torch around over the field, and you see the clown, and then he ducks down in the grass.
Yeah. He's like,
it's scarier because it's dark.
Wanna play? No.
Yeah,
okay. But so come to Grandpa. So sometimes I'd be walking home at night or whatever on my way home, and like I pass by a sewer grate, and you look at it and you're like, oh, whatever. But then you think, fuck, like how creepy would it be if like all of a sudden it spoke to you, but it's nighttime. And it's like hey there, it's just a fucking sewer grate.
You mean like in the
and
movie,
then maybe
and
like
the book
some
It?
fucking eyes appear on it or something.
Yeah,
like
you've seen it, right?
Yeah. So like you put like little slants on it, like something you're scared of when you're a kid. Like I was like scared of like the dark or whatever, right? But I didn't know why. It was just dark. I was scared of it, sort of thing. But then if you add like an element to the darkness, as an adult, it can still scare the shit out of you, right? But like just the dark itself maybe doesn't scare you so much, sort of thing. So it's like
you know what I still get scared about? I don't know why, but I had a very, very profound fear of the dark when I was a kid. Like it always used to scare me. But even now, like if I go downstairs and I got to get some water, go to the toilet, it's not a problem. It's when I'm coming back up the stairs,
right.
I feel like something's gonna reach through the banisters and get me.
Yeah.
So I always like hurry up the stairs, and I'm thinking, you're 43. Like, what are you doing? But I'm still a little bit scared of the dark.
Yeah, I have my staircase is enclosed by walls, and sometimes if you look down it's like it can almost be like a bit trippy sort of thing. Like, so you come out of the bathroom at the top of the landing, and you can look straight down.
Right.
And if it's like dark and stuff, it's like I don't know. Sometimes it's just really fucking terrifying. Like I look down and I'm like, oh fuck! Just imagine like I'm just looking down my staircase, it's dark down there. And then somebody just fucking like appears at the bottom, like comes from around the corner, and you're like,
yeah, it's scary.
Maybe it's because like something deep inside you knows that like if you fell down the stairs and couldn't move, then no one would find you till morning.
Maybe.
And that's
I never really thought about that, but thanks for that one. I just add that to the other pile of things that terrify me.
Well, I get it. Like it's more pronounced after watching a horror movie at home.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you watch something that has like some suspense in it or whatever,
like going and watching one at the cinema and coming back is not ever a problem usually, because by the time you've got home, you've kind of slightly forgotten about what you were scared of. But like watching a horror movie or something spooky and then going straight to bed. Oof.
I stopped watching horror for that reason. Like I found that it was just what am I doing? You know what I mean? I don't enjoy being scared. It's got to be something Like I watched Hereditary. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I really, really liked it.
I thought it was
I
great.
really liked it.
Is that the one with that creepy looking kid?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and
Oh.
she's like, she does this thing where she goes
Yes. Oh,
like that.
my God,
That's that
no
one.
thanks.
So it started off. Some people said, "Oh, it went all schlocky and I have trouble saying that word, schlocky and stupid and trash horror at the end." But I thought it was like a really tense psychological horror for like 3/4 of the movie,
Yeah.
punctuated with moments of actual horror, and then it built into like a really scary ending. Like I'm not going to spoil it, but I found it very scary and sort of quite disturbing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't mind. I don't mind if things are disturbing or unsettling, but I don't like jump scares. I don't want to like be scared like just because you like of a loud sound that's like random or something like that. You know what I mean?
I hate
Right.
that.
Yeah, same.
That is
Yeah,
really
well, that's
annoying.
why I don't play those jump scare games because it's just too much.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
know it's coming.
I like
it's
being-
like
I like-
you're pushing a button, you know you're going to get an electric shock at some point, but you don't know when. But you have to hold the button down. It's
But
too much.
I like psychological like thrillers and stuff like that. Like I like stuff that is like a bit
Creepy.
weird or unsettling. Yeah,
Yeah,
creepy stuff like that.
absolutely.
Kind of stuff I really like.
It really makes you think a lot of that stuff. Like it stays with me.
Yeah.
And that I find scarier as I start thinking about it a lot. I'm thinking, damn, that was like Rosemary's Baby, right? That's a really creepy movie. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, we talk about it a bit.
So it's
I
like
think I
classic
have. I don't know.
sort of 70s. It's
Yeah.
got
it's quite
Mia Farrow
It's quite
in it.
well known in the point that I think it's been
It
sort
is,
of
yeah.
done,
It's like a famous movie, but I'm sure I've seen it. I just can't place it.
So
It's-
the creepy thing for me is she moves into this apartment building with her husband, and what always freaks me about these things is like he becomes part of the thing that she's scared of. So the person you trust the most, the one person you can turn to, is part of it. That's always a consistently good scary thing. So basically, the people in this apartment building are all members of a satanic cult. And they get her pregnant with Satan's baby, and this baby's going to be like the Antichrist and stuff.
Right.
That's the plot, right? And it's really well done. It's very, very creepy, and she feels so isolated as a character, and that's what makes it really scary. That's why when I watch these horror movies, and there's like a whole gaggle of fucking idiots, and they're all getting iced one by one, I'm like, who cares? It's one person against a bunch of normal-ish people that suddenly are revealed to have a creepy side. That's what's freaky, I think, rather than just standard jump out.
Well, I think that's
horror.
a thing that you can't get in books, right? Like, a story written, a horror story, isn't going to have jump scares in it, right? But in a video game or in a movie, it's very easy to do that, and it's a very cheap effect, right? And
agree.
only the worst things really take advantage of it. Except some people actually like it. I mean, there was this guy that came down and showed us his game, which was kind of a jump scary kind of running game and he was like, oh yeah, this bit really gets you sweaty, and I'm like, I don't really want that from a game. I mean, that's not selling. That's not selling.
I spent my whole life trying to avoid sweating. This does not work for me.
I'm 35 now.
I
I'm
don't
just
want
fine
to
without
be
sweating.
What was that game that came out a few years ago?
Resident
it was
Evil
like
7? That was a
No.
fucking creepy one too.
It was before that. It was quite a
Right.
long time before
Layers
that.
of Fear.
No, is it Amnesia?
The
Was that
one with the little
yeah.
girl in a dress with hollow eyes appears at the top of ladders.
Was that FEAR? Was that one?
Oh,
Fear?
probably. I feel like
that was
every
like a shooter, right?
Yeah,
I feel
that
like
was
every horror game has a small girl wearing a dress that appears at the end of a hallway or like at the top
Alice
of
in
a ladder.
Wonderland. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Amnesia was the one where you are in like a creepy, huge house. It's set in like I
yes,
think it's
Amnesia
like the
is
19th
the one.
century.
Yeah. And there's like some sort of weird fucking tentacle faced thing.
Right.
In
I
there,
never
but-
got to that stage.
No.
I
The whole
quit
game is
way
so
before
fucking
that.
creepy. I hid in
Yeah.
a cupboard for like half of the.
Yeah, I was in there and there's nothing out there. I'm just hiding in a fucking cupboard. I'm like, what am
Yeah.
I doing?
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is terrifying.
Yeah, the mood and everything is super unsettling.
Very much so. And your character's teeth chatter when he gets scared. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is actually making me. My heart is going and I'm playing a game. How is this a game?
Well,
quit.
I think it's
the bad
incredible,
guy.
though. I think that's incredible, right? That like somebody's created that experience, and I think
Something
that's
unplayably
why.
terrifying. Well,
Well,
done.
for you, but
Well, certain people love
some
that.
people will love it, and also I think it's amazing that it exists.
Yeah, you're
regardless
right,
of
you're
whether I like it or not.
You're
I
right,
don't
you're right,
personally
you're right.
like it. I would not play a game like that. I don't like the way it makes me feel. But it's incredible that somebody is or a team has made a game that can make people feel like that. You know what I mean? And
You're
I
right.
don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's not
Yeah,
for
it's,
me.
it's a piece of work.
It's
it really
definitely
is. I mean,
like a genre that some people really love. Like
Some people
really,
love it, yeah.
can
Some
really get
people-
on board with. I'm really stoked for the next big spookums, you know, and they're
Spookums.
they're the,
Spookums.
It's a little spookums.
I didn't know how
Oh,
else to
can't wait
describe
for
it.
this year's big Spookums.
Spookums.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Is that like instead of a shoot 'em up, it's a spook 'em up? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's
Yeah.
quite an
very
accomplishment, though, to be able to create that sort of mood and setting. And, you know, like I was the same. I was playing it and I could feel like, I felt like I was going to have a fucking heart attack. And like, but at the same time, I thought, man, I can't believe that a team got together and created this like atmosphere that is now leading to me potentially having a heart attack. Like it's impressive. I think it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before, but like I've been doing this thing where I try and play a different game every day, and I've as a result been playing a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, well, I told you would get to that point. You get through like the good games, and then you'll just be left with the rest of Steam, basically.
Well, there's new shit coming out every day, and actually,
Yeah.
I'm finding pretty
Yes,
much that
new
I've got,
shit. New shit every day is the way to describe
but
it.
I think
yeah.
that's the problem. I think you have nailed it. The thing is, like, the reason a lot of it I think is fairly shit is because actually they're good games, but I don't really like them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think I like turn-based stuff. I like a little bit of decent story. I like stuff
Sure.
that I can kind of, you know, use my brain a bit to play, and it's not just super mindless grinding or like, you know, oh, let me just walk around this forest and chop wood for fucking 3 hours in order to like afford to build a block. Do you know what I mean, or whatever? Like,
Yeah, I know.
Didn't you
yeah.
play Minecraft for many years?
I know.
And World of Warcraft?
I know.
You're still actively playing Minecraft, aren't you?
Well, but it's more of a social thing, right? It's a good,
Yeah, true,
it's a good
true.
Yeah,
engine
sure.
to kind of chat and talk shit and build something creatively with other people. Like when you've got 3 or 4 people building alongside you, it gets rid of the grind, really.
Well, I think that
He's right.
I think
He's
that
right.
extends to so many other games and stuff as well. Like
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people have been asking me recently if I'm going to play WoW Classic now that you know it's
Right.
it's been announced for this summer. And I'm not going to personally. I don't have any interest in playing
Same.
it again. But the thing is, I think that people who are looking forward to playing it are people who didn't play it when it first came out because they were either too young or they just missed the boat or whatever, and they want to have that experience, which, you know, fair enough, cool, enjoy yourself. And B, people who think that they're going to somehow be able to recreate the fun that they had in the original with the same people that they had fun with in the original, the community and everything. But I don't think that's possible. I think that the way the communities have sprung up around games and stuff like that have changed a lot since WoW. And WoW was a really big sort of like jump starter for that stuff. But I don't think that WoW works as well as it used to in that sense for the community and stuff. And especially with all the game systems that they've added in recently, like, or not so recently, like the quality of life stuff, you know, like Dungeon Finder and all that kind of stuff has sort of segregated off parts of the community as well.
So I have some questions about Vanilla WoW. Is it literally the same as it was at release, but with better graphics? Like if they literally said
No.
we're going back the
No,
exact same
it's
WoW.
just
what's changed?
the same graphics, same mechanics and everything.
So
all of the
it's
stuff that they've undone
it's
throughout the
bizarrely
years.
authentic. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like it. So okay, I played a bit of it on Sunday, and everyone in the office is stoked about it, right? Like Terps is
Right.
obviously a huge Blizzard fanboy. He's bought up on eBay like all of the rewards for Blizzard employees. So like when you get to like 15 years working at Blizzard, they give you like a shield and a sword and all this crap. And then some
Right.
of them obviously sell disgruntled, sell them on eBay and for about $1.50 or whatever. And Terps buys them up, right? So he's got everything. He's got every Blizzard collectible. He's got every collector's edition of every version, including the original, which is worth about $3,000 now.
Wow.
Right.
Right. Good
He's
God.
got like huge fucking. He's a huge WoW super fan. He ran the official WoW podcast anyway. He's got beta access. So Shin has got beta access as well because he's been like poking the right people. But I was
Right.
on Discord yesterday, and Xylus and Rythian and everyone was like, "Where are we getting it? We really want to play." And I played it with Terps for a bit, and I did 3 hours, and it was the original 3 hours that I did back in the day.
Yeah.
The first.
Wow.
So when I bought
Yeah.
WoW, I took it home. I
Spending your
played for 3
time
hours.
fighting a boar for the first 3
And it
hours.
was. I got to
basically.
level
Yeah.
6 after 3 hours, and I knew what I was doing as well, really. And it was like so to the point where like it's so authentic that there's a graphic setting which is WoW Classic, That's enabled. Then you've also got all of the interface stuff is all like the defaults. Like literally, you have to enable auto loot. You have to go into the settings menu, which is the same as it was back then, and figure out how to turn on these basic quality of your life
Good
things.
God.
There's no AOE looting. There's like, it's very, very, very slow. Like the quests are literally the grindiest. I mean, it would put a Korean MMO to shame, a modern one. Like I had a level 4 quest was to get like 10 gold dust, and I had to kill in excess of 30 kobolds, and each one took like 20 to 30 seconds, to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took ages. It took ages and ages. But I met other people doing it, and I helped them out, and we had a little group, and we made friends, and it was weirdly authentic, weirdly like. I think it has things in it that modern WoW lacks. And what happened with WoW was that they made all these improvements and iterations and listened to community feedback and changed the game and changed the game and changed the game. And in changing it, they a little bit like they lost something somewhere along the line. It's still the same game, but something changed. Something was lost. And people couldn't quite put a finger on it. And I think, yes, it is partly what Sip said. And it is partly like what the ability to kind of have all these websites telling you all the secrets and stuff, and all the external stuff and all of the guides and reaching max level and how the game changed when you reach max level. The game wasn't about that in the first place.
Right.
But also the WoW is everyone expects it to be more than that. They expect it to be this game that lasts forever, when in fact it doesn't have to be that. It can be a leveling experience where you play it for a week and you're done. But I think people expect it to be more, and it feels like it should be more because you're paying this subscription, and that's part of it. It's all a big confusing mess of a game, and I agree with Sips completely about what he said about WoW Classic just earlier. I don't think it's very good, and I won't be playing it.
It's not. It was great at the time. There was nothing else like it at the time, and people were ready to have a game that sort of really encompassed all of your gaming and gave you a community of people to hang out with. I mean, like Goon Squad and everything was great back in the day. It was awesome. Everybody had a really fun time. Everybody was having fun experiencing this new game and the new content and stuff. But like fucking 12 years later, I just want to do other things with my time. My life is not the same.
That was my question was, who's going to be playing Vanilla WoW? Like, I assume it's a nostalgia trip.
Well, that's
for a lot of people.
But I think that's all it is. And I think if you're in it for that, cool, enjoy yourself. I think, you might have fun doing it or whatever. But I know for sure I won't have fun doing it. I'm too I just feel like a lot of the people that played WoW back then, like me and like you guys, I don't want to fucking go back and do that shit. Like, I did it then because it was new, but the idea of, like Lewis says, killing 30 kobold, I'm like, fuck this. Like, why would I do that? Like, I think the wonder of the game is gone. I remember, like, the first time I went to, like, Loch Modan and stuff like that, I was like, oh, fuck, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe this looks really neat. And what are all these quests and stuff? That's all gone now. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to these places a billion times, like even against my will, when they try to crowbar quests in later on in the life cycle of the game, where they're like, you have to go back in time and go back to this place. You're like, fuck no, I don't want to.
Man.
And just shit like that, But man, people who are gonna play it though, I hope you have a fun time, and I hope it lives up to your expectations, and I hope that it scratches that itch for you, but I will not be there with you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm just not going to play it. There's that, and the next thing that is coming out from Blizzard is Warcraft 3, like remastered.
Right.
So it's just like two old games being brought back to life.
A lot of people are really hyped for that. I think mainly because they're looking forward to the new mods. The new mods that people are going to bring out with the new engine.
Of course, yeah. And I think, there's reasons to be excited about it and stuff. And I would probably play the mods more than I would play the original game again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big Warcraft fan, and I always have been. But man, I just don't really want to play the old games again. You know what I mean? Like, I've played them already. I've done them. There's so many games out now as well that you could just be playing instead, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe I'm just like a bit cynical or something, but I
think. We've played a lot of these games, right? Like, a lot of these games, a lot of the stuff that we enjoyed back then was either because it was new, or we had more free time. I mean, this was when I played WoW. I wasn't doing any streaming. I didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
The hours that I worked were kind of funky, so I sometimes had like a whole fucking day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do today? So I was like, well, I'll just fucking play WoW all day, and I did.
Yeah.
And I would do things like say, I can't hang out with you this evening, Mrs. F, because we've got a fucking raid. And she's like, all right, how long is that going to take? I was like, about 5 hours, you know. So it's like, she's like, what? Like, this was a whole new idea that games would actually become something I would schedule around.
Yeah, right.
And there's no way I'd fucking take a weekend now to go raid somewhere and prepare for the raid. There's no fucking way. Like, I feel like nowadays, maybe I wouldn't do that, but like the horror games, like you guys said, maybe there are people out there who fucking love that shit.
There are for sure people
Power
out
to
there
'em.
who love it and will really enjoy it and hope they have a great time. I think it'll be good. If you're really looking forward to it and you're hyped for it and stuff, I think it'll be awesome.
Go for it.
But I personally am not. I don't know why. I feel like I should be. That's the weirdest thing, but I'm just not.
Yeah.
I can't
No,
really
I did
put
it.
my finger on it.
5 years I did it.
It's crazy, eh? I think Lewis is dead.
Lewis? Maybe maybe Grandpa paid him a visit.
maybe Grandpa paid him a visit.
Did he really just fuck off in the middle of the podcast?
I think he did, yeah.
That's incredible.
That is incredible, isn't it?
That
Holy
is-
shit.
you know what? That if there's one word that sums that up for me, Sips, it's professionalism.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like a throwback to like the conversation we were having about creepy stuff. Maybe he's been killed where he's sitting and we couldn't hear it because we were too busy talking.
And with as his brain function is starting to slow down, the last thing he can hear is us shit talking him.
Yeah.
I hope nothing's happened to him legitimately.
No, I think honestly, I think he's fine. You know what? He's probably hit like the mute talk button by accident. He was probably joining in that conversation the whole time, and he probably just didn't realize
funny
that he's muted.
If he's recorded all kinds of audio of us ignoring him, and he's saying, "Yeah, I just said that, period." And, yeah.
gonna make all these like editing cuts and stuff so that he can join the conversation after the fact.
Man.
Oh,
What do you think for Triforce 100 at YogCon? I've been thinking like, are we gonna do it like we're gonna do like a live stage thing? So I figured it'll be like you, me, and Lulu sitting on the stage just doing live Triforce. Are we just gonna talk like normal, or are we gonna like have a section where we take questions from the audience?
I think we could take
like
questions. I think taking questions could be fun. The problem is with taking questions, in my experience at a convention, is that there's no real way to vet the good ones, right?
Right, so here's what we do.
So you will get people asking things like what your favorite type of cheese is and stuff like that.
Right, but they write them down,
Uh-huh.
and then we have a chance. Like we have a Triforce question box. The question suggestion for the Triforce digestion. Okay, and people put. Oh, hello.
Welcome back. Sorry.
Oh, we thought you
We
died.
have to know. We have to know where you've been.
You know what, Flax? I just want to say, you were saying that when you think about Lewis, you think professionalism, but I think the way that you handled an abrupt missing Lewis was also very professionally well done. Like
really,
you didn't even skip a beat. Yeah, you didn't lose your stride once. That's incredible.
Thank you.
I said I just need the loo real quick. Be right back.
Nope.
I said that, and then I just disappeared. I thought you heard me.
No, we did not. I think we were too busy
we were waiting
having
for you
a
to say something, and then Sips
about
pointed
video
out,
games.
you hadn't spoken for like 5 minutes. We were like, it's like he just fucked
popped
off.
to the loo. Sorry, guys.
So people
I had
submit
like
questions.
a leftover Indian.
So
last night,
we have a
and it's
chance
been
to read
bit-
the question.
Wait, hang on a second. I need to hear about this. You had what last night?
A leftover Indian.
What did you have to have it for your breakfast? Is that what happened?
Well, I just thought it would be a quick trip to the loo, but it was like a more laboured one.
Right.
Oh, I'm
That was
sorry
why.
to hear that.
Sorry,
Jeez.
guys.
What was the shape like? Was it malformed or was it like just normal?
Kind of like a chocolate milkshake.
Oh, right, like a
okay.
moose.
Mud butt. Mud butt.
It was like a
Mudslide. Nice. Okay, good. Good to know. So we take questions from the audience, but they have to write them down, submit them, and then we somehow have to identify them in the audience. Because I think that the nice thing about asking a question in the audience is that you get your time, to shine in the audience as well, right? Like we say, this one is
the
from
problem is some people are very shy.
Rodrigo, are you out there? Anybody? Can you? Oh, there he is. There he is. And then everybody
you can
claps.
give little waves. Stand up. Tiffany in the audience wants to ask a question, so Tiffany can stand up and wave. Hi.
Yeah.
That would be kind of sweet. But some people are shy, and a lot of the time they're like, I wanted to ask a question, but I didn't want to have to stand up in front of a room full of people and ask. I get that.
Yeah.
So I think if people write it down, that's more chill, and
Like
we
an
can
anonymous
ditch all the
question
bad ones.
box.
Yeah, but you write your name on it, or your Twitch username if you want. You don't
Is
have
this
to
what
stand
you want
up.
to do at YogCon?
I'm thinking we could do
What
that
if
for the
somebody?
Triforce
What
Live.
if somebody puts in a question, writes it down, and they're like, "Okay, we have a question here from Jerry. Jerry, are you out there? Okay, Jerry's got a question. Go." And then Jerry gets the mic. He's just like, "You suck!" Like that, and that's it.
Right, that's why we don't want Jerry to be able to ask the
That
question
would
live.
trigger me so hard, though. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on anything. Like I
So-
have a fairly thick skin, but somebody yelling
This is-
to me, "You suck," is
This
enough
is
to
great.
set me off.
So I can say something about YogCon. We Triforce is currently scheduled in for
Day one.
11:30 on the first day.
Wow.
Wait, in
So
the
is that like
morning?
right after the what? So wait, is there going to be like a opening ceremony and a
Yeah,
closing
it'll
ceremony?
be right
and stuff?
after the opening ceremony.
Fuck
Whoa, whoa,
me.
whoa,
On the
in the
main
morning?
stage?
On the
Wait,
main stage,
on the
yeah.
mythic stage? Is that
Yeah.
what are we calling? How many stages are there at YogCon?
3.
Film. Whoa, really?
Yeah.
So wait, what's going to be on at the same time as us?
I've got a big problem with this. We don't want to do it. You don't blow your load instantly.
You do,
Triforce
though.
Live is going to be a big thing. We want to have it slightly later.
No,
And
no.
I want to be
We
able
want
to
it
have a
straight
drink.
away. That's like the premier time to do it, right away when everybody's still jazzed up from the opening ceremony, and then we can all bring them down with a
I
bump.
think it's a bad idea, boys. I've got to say.
Okay.
Gotta say,
Well, I
we
think
want
you'll be
our
all right.
audience
Right.
nice and lubricated and relaxed. They want to be able to sit down.
All right.
Because otherwise they're going to answer
Hang
their
on,
pants.
let
you know
me
what I
just
mean?
make
They're
a
all gonna
quick
be
phone call
excited.
here. Yeah, hey, yeah. No, Flax thinks it's a bad idea, actually. I don't know if maybe we can. No? Really? Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right, okay, yeah, see you later. Yeah, okay, thanks, bye. Yeah, no, they said that it's going to still happen anyway, so. sorry about that.
Who? Was that Grandpa on the fucking phone?
Yeah, no, it was the toy store. I was just saying, could you guys not let my daughter refuses to eat her carrots and potatoes. All she's done is she's eaten her fake meat chicken nuggets. So could you please put a picture of her up in the door so that she's not allowed into the toy store until I phone you back and let you know that she's eaten? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. That fucking works like a charm too, actually.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, what about the Tooth Fairy? What's she gonna say about all this?
Yeah, exactly.
So-
What's Grandpa gonna say?
What
What's he gonna think?
What
Well,
what
you know,
would
here's,
Grandpa say?
let me tell you about one more thing about the Tooth Fairy. I just remembered. This was something that they came up with. I listen in on their conversations sometimes because they're so funny. Because there's no one there to correct the truth. You know what I mean? Whatever they could think of, if they both agree that sounds reasonable, well, that must be what happened. There's no one to come in and say, no, that doesn't happen. So I just listen in because some of it's hysterical. So they were like, my youngest says to the eldest, she says, why do you think the Tooth Fairy stopped coming then? Because she started believing it. My eldest said, look, I was just fucking with you. The Tooth Fairy's real. And she said, well, you know, maybe she got injured or she was sick. She goes, yeah, she got injured on a mission. And I'm thinking, what mission? Like a special forces mission. And then they said, what if the cat ate her? And the cat hangs out with the kids a lot, like sitting in their room, and the cat sort of looking at them like, I didn't do anything. And they're like, yeah, maybe the cat ate our last Tooth Fairy. Now we have to wait for a replacement Tooth Fairy to be sent in. And then they
She
were
was
like telling the
captured
cat
trying to overthrow the government of Zimbabwe.
so on a mission. And I could see them telling the cat, like, don't eat Lily. Like, don't eat the new fairy. We're going to be really angry with you, cat. And the cat's just, like, staring at him like a cat.
Yeah,
but yeah,
with
now
the
they think the
laser.
cat maybe ate the last fairy. But I love the idea of the fairy on a mission. Got killed. Killed in action.
I like to
Tooth Fairy number 48476.
I do say my
She
kids
was
have
the
pretty
best.
funny conversations that are fun to listen into. But one thing that I like listening into that I always find funny and makes me laugh is my daughter does not know how to read yet. She's still too small.
Right,
But she
right.
pretends to read. So like we'll finish reading like a bedtime story or whatever. Maybe it's like, you know, Mr. Men, you know, like Mr. Happy or
Right,
you know,
right.
Mr. Tickle or whatever. Then she's like, "Can I take that book with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course you can." So she goes downstairs because she usually like falls asleep like on my wife's lap, like to go to bed sort of thing. So they go downstairs. She takes the book with her, and so like my wife will say goodnight to my son or whatever, and then I'll take my daughter downstairs to get her ready so that she can like have some milk and go to sleep or whatever. And she always takes the book with her. So I always say like, okay, just wait there. Mommy will be down in a minute. And then I pretend to go off and do something because I know that she's going to start fake reading the book. So she opens the book and she's like, Mr. Tickle was having a fun day. Like she always does it in this like really, really soft, like quiet voice. She's like, and then Mr. Tickle tickled somebody. And then like it's like this whole thing. Like she goes like through each page and just invents what she thinks is happening based on like the picture, but she can't read. Fuck me, it's so funny. Like every night I'm just like around the corner, like giggling and listening to this happening. It's great.
Oh, that sounds great.
Don't have kids.
No, that's a terrible thing to say.
No, I'm just joking. Have them.
I think we've got the best and the worst. You know, it's got ups and downs, right? It's not.
It ain't smooth sailing, but it's a voyage worth taking.
Nothing's perfect. You know, life is what you make it. You know, you have to choose to. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, there you go. That's the Triforce motto, isn't it? Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time for another 99 point something episode.
Hey, which one was this? 99.3?
0.3.
Yeah.
Cool FM in the morning.
Now we've had like a little reset on the number. You know, we're remembering which fucking episode it is. Normally we're like, which one is this? 87?
But wait, so is this going to take us up nicely to